Hey guys, welcome to The Reality Pill, a channel solely focused on exposing the abundant hypocrisy of modern dating culture. And of course, here's your meme of the day. I mean, you literally can't make this stuff up anymore. These boss babes are out here writing up absolute fantasy wish lists for a traditional provider while bringing absolutely nothing traditional, feminine, or cooperative to the table. They want the 1950s wallet but the 2024 lack of accountability. It's an absolute disaster. You know, the thing that blows my mind about these people, and by these people I mean modern entitled daters, is how spectacularly contradictory they can be. They claim they don't need a man. They claim they are strong, independent, and completely self-sufficient. Yet, in the exact same breath, they demand a man who will foot the bill for their entire existence, while simultaneously refusing to give that man even an ounce of respect or basic partnership. It's absolutely mind-boggling. I mean, the sheer entitlement and total lack of self-awareness is just off the charts. They want all the traditional benefits of a relationship without exhibiting a single piece of traditional behavior. Let me show you guys exactly what I mean by that. We got some stuff to get into today that perfectly highlights this absolute clown show. So let's roll the tape. All right, folks. So we got a young woman here on TikTok proudly explaining her baseline standard for how a man is allowed to interact with her. Let's see how this goes.
You know what don't sit well with me? A nigga that don't pay my bills asking me where the fuck I'm going. You ain't fucking talking to me. You definitely not talking to me.
I am baffled. I'm sitting here asking myself, what the hell is she even talking about? Let me get this straight. She is openly stating that unless a man is literally funding her life and paying her bills, he doesn't even have the right to ask her a basic question about her whereabouts. But here is the massive, glaring contradiction staring us all right in the face. If a man is paying your bills, he is operating in a traditional provider role. And in a traditional dynamic, the provider absolutely has a say in what goes on. Give me a freaking break. What an absolute clown show. You cannot have it both ways. You cannot demand that a man takes on the financial burden of an adult dependent and then look at him and say, "You ain't talking to me." Yeah, I don't think that's how the dating market works, sweetheart. If a man is paying for your life, you aren't strong and independent. You are a dependent. And yet this modern woman wants the financial sponsorship of a traditional marriage while maintaining the unaccountable, chaotic lifestyle of a single teenager. What the hell did we get here? Who told her she deserves this? What are you bringing to the table to justify a man paying your bills? From the looks of that video, nothing but attitude, entitlement, and a headache. What man in his right mind would put up with this? And of course, it's not just her. This didn't just happen in a vacuum. This is a systemic rot in modern dating culture. We have an entire generation of women who have been brainwashed into believing that their mere existence is a form of currency. Let's take a look at our next contestant. This is the same group of women who will scream about equality, but the second the bill comes, suddenly they revert to traditionalism. Take a look.
Okay, genuine question for those that say that women should go 50-50 in a relationship with a man because it's the 21st century and we're equals now. Do you think that women fought for the right to have our own money, have our own bank accounts, have our own property, just to turn around and give that to a man, to the same people that were fighting us on it? I did all of this just so I could split it with you. I did all of this so that you could have half the money that I'm working so hard for. Do you have a brain hemorrhage? Hey, do you have a tumor? Because that happens, by the way. Like, some people do develop tumors in their brains and they become violent and crazy, and then they get them taken out and they become normal again. That might...
Oh, absolutely. You definitely fought for the right to work so you could hoard all your own money while demanding a man spends all of his money on you. That makes total sense. Pause. No, it doesn't. Give me a freaking break. Let's break this down, because the mental gymnastics here are worthy of an Olympic gold medal. She wants equality. She's proud of the feminist movement that fought for her right to work, have bank accounts, and own property. Okay, great. Equality achieved. But wait, now she's furious that men are treating her like an equal. She is literally diagnosing men with brain tumors for suggesting that in a modern 21st century relationship where both people work full-time, they should split the costs. She looks at her own money as hers, and she looks at a man's money as theirs. I did all this so you could have half the money I'm working so hard for? No, lady, going 50 doesn't mean you're giving a man your money. It means you're paying for your half of the life you share. You're paying for the food you eat, the electricity you use, and the roof over your head. But modern women don't want equality. They want superiority. They want the traditional benefit of a male provider, combined with the modern benefit of keeping 100% of their own income for their own selfish lifestyle. It's the ultimate grift. What's mine is mine, and what's yours is mine. But of course, it gets even worse. And just to add insult to injury, it's not just the entitlement to your wallet, it's the fact that they have the sheer audacity to project their own gold-digging behavior onto men. And for me, it really begs the question, how completely detached from reality do you have to be to flip the script this hard? Just look at this next clip. This is what happens when you tell women they are perpetual victims. They will literally invent a reality where men are the ones using them for money. Watch this absolute disaster.
Ladies, this is not a drill. We are living in an era where there is a pandemic of men whose social security plan is a woman. Lifelong con artists who are chronically unemployed entrepreneurs, can't work a day in their life, can't work for the man, too creative, too much of a dreamer. These men prey on women to move in quickly with, get pregnant quickly, so they can secure the domestic labor and your paycheck in order to keep them afloat for the rest of their life. They're not thinking about saving for the future. They're not thinking about saving for your child's future. Their plan is you. Don't allow it to happen to you.
I refuse to take any lecture from a culture that produces this level of delusion, a pandemic of men whose social security plan is a woman. Are you kidding me? We have thousands of years of human history where the standard, biological and societal expectation was that the man was the social security plan, the man built the house, the man hunted the food, the man worked the dangerous jobs, the man went to war, and the man paid the bills to keep the woman and the children afloat. And now, in the modern era, a tiny fraction of a percentage of guys might be acting like deadbeats, and suddenly it's a pandemic of men using women. The hypocrisy here is blinding. For decades, modern dating has been plagued by women explicitly stating, like the first two girls we literally just watched, that they want a man to pay all their bills. We have dating apps flooded with women demanding six-figure earners, refusing to go 50-50 and wanting to be kept while bringing nothing but a bad attitude. But the moment a woman feels even a fraction of the pressure that men have felt to provide since the dawn of time, it's a con artist situation. It's a pandemic. Suddenly, it's preying on women. These are the exact same women who will demand a man pays for every date, buys the ring, pays the mortgage, and funds their lifestyle. But if they have to chip in, oh, it's a crisis. And the part that kills me is that not only is all this delusional hypocrisy clearly going on, but these women have zero foresight. They don't realize that this attitude has an expiration date. They spend their 20s acting like they are the prize, making impossible demands, rejecting good average men for not being 6'2" and rich, and demanding that men pay their bills just for the privilege of their presence. You know what happens when you carry that toxic high-maintenance entitlement through your prime dating years? Welcome to the wall. Here is where reality shows up. Here is where biology and the dating market collect their debts. Take a look at this.
Okay, y'all, I'm actually worried. I just turned 27 a couple weeks ago. And in my head, I'm like, damn, 27? Celebrating my single life? And then I sat down and I'm like, fuck. I'm 27, getting closer to 30, and I'm not even close to having a boyfriend. Like, I don't even have a situationship, nor am I talking to anyone. And I always thought that by 27, I would be married with kids. Nah, man. It's okay, though. It's really not. But, just living life one step at a time.
Welcome to the wall, sweetheart, where biological reality meets feminist fantasy. I always thought that by 27 I would be married with kids. Yeah, well, the market doesn't lie. This is what happens when an entire generation of women is told to celebrate their single life, focus on their independence, and set their standards astronomically high. They spend their early to mid-20s chasing the top 5% of men, the guys who will gladly put them in a situationship because those men have infinite options and no reason to commit. She admits it right there. I only have a situationship. Of course you do, because the guys you're giving your time to do not see you as relationship material. And the good, average, hard-working men who would have gladly married you and started a family. You probably ignored them because they wanted to go 50-50 on a dinner date, or they didn't want to pay your bills just to ask you where you were going. Reality hits hard and the wall doesn't forgive. By the time these women realize that the strong, independent, I don't need a man script was a complete lie, they are staring down 30 with nothing but baggage, a string of failed situationships, and a terrifying realization that the high-value men they want are looking at younger, less entitled, more cooperative women. Actions have consequences. And so this proves that modern dating culture has become a completely broken disaster. We've got women demanding traditional treatment while offering nothing traditional in return. We've got impossible standards with zero self-awareness. They want the traditional benefit of a male provider, but they refuse the traditional behavior of being a cooperative, feminine partner. Meanwhile, if a man has a reasonable standard, if he expects a woman to contribute equally to the household, or if he expects peace, respect, and loyalty in exchange for his hard-earned provision, suddenly that's toxic misogyny. Suddenly he's a tumor. Suddenly he's a con artist. The double standard is unreal. This is what modern progressive ideology has created, a demographic of aggressively entitled women who are pricing themselves entirely out of the dating market and then filming themselves crying in their cars when they realize they're going to end up alone. That essentially tells you everything you need to know about modern dating. And so, yeah, brothers, here's what you need to understand. Do not fund these women's delusion. If you meet a woman who tells you that you need to pay her bills just to talk to her, walk away. If you meet a woman who thinks going 50-50 means you have a brain tumor, walk away. If she's offended by the idea of being an equal contributing partner, that is a massive blessing. She just showed you exactly who she is. Don't waste your time, your peace, or your hard-earned money trying to satisfy a bottomless pit of modern female entitlement. Let them enjoy their situationships. Let them celebrate their single life right into their 30s and 40s. Know your worth. You deserve better than a combative, high-maintenance dependent who views your wallet as her rightful property while bringing nothing but attitude to the table. Gentlemen, protect your peace and protect your assets. So we've seen it all today, women demanding a full-ride scholarship for their lifestyle. Women diagnosing men with brain damage for wanting equality. Women projecting their gold digging onto men, and finally the inevitable crash into the wall of reality. This exposes the absolute delusion of modern dating culture. The market doesn't lie and biology doesn't care about your feelings. Welcome to reality. Let me know in the comments, what is the most ridiculous entitled dating standard you've ever had a modern woman throw at you? And at what age do you think reality finally hits these boss babes the hardest? I'll be reading your comments and featuring the best responses. If you enjoyed this reality check, smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss the next one. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next.